My dear brothers and sisters, today we celebrate the memorial of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. This is the reason why the month of October is devoted to the praying of the Holy Rosary, or we call it the Black Rosary. But this kind of pandemic, we change it, we term it Family Home-Based Rosary, for we are not allowed to move from one house to another, from one block to another. That is why we don't call it this time as Black Rosary Prayer. But as we have heard in the introduction, it speaks about the battle in Lepanto, and this is actually through the intercession, the powerful intercession of Our Lady. Originally, it was known to be the Feast of Our Lady of Victory because of the battle in Lepanto, and eventually it was named as the Feast of the Holy Rosary. And if we have to look at the Holy Rosary, we are being reminded of the mysteries that we pray, and we are invited to meditate, to pray. And as we meditate and pray, we know that it helps us also to realize, after all, that these mysteries would speak of our own life journey. Na meron po tayong kanya-kanyang misteryo ng galak sa buhay. Meron po tayong kanya-kanyang misteryo ng hinagpis sa buhay. Our sorrows in life. Meron po tayong kanya-kanyang glorious mysteries in which we feel that the glorious mysteries of our life. And of course, we know that the luminous mysteries is, in fact, would give us a hope and enlightenment of the mysteries of life after all. Truly enough, when we sing the Tagalog song Awit ng Inang Santo Rosario, ay makahulugang awit po, dahil po ito po ay it defines the Holy Rosary. Nang buhay po natin ay tila isang awit ng misteryo ng Santo Rosario, in which we know, my dear brothers and sisters, that as we pray meditatively, as we pray fervently, as we pray fervently and devotedly the Holy Rosary, we are once again reminded of God's eternal presence to us. And truly enough, we know that the powerful intercession of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, which a lot of testimonies about this. And this is actually one of the greatest testimonies, is this, because of this powerful intercession in the Battle of Lepanto. And our own testimonies in life, in which we know how we have been interceded and how we've been aided and helped through the mediation, intercession of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. In fact, my dear brothers and sisters, in our daily liturgy, the Gospel is all about prayer. It's all about the Our Father, in which if we have to make use of the Gospel about how shall we pray, when the disciples asked Jesus how they're going to pray, and Jesus said, this is how you pray. And this is all about the Our Father. In which, my dear brothers and sisters, we are once again reminded of the power of prayer in our life. That nothing is impossible, but everything is possible with God. And everything is possible for those who believe in God. We cannot undermine prayer, because prayer can even move mountains. Because if we sincerely pray to God, and we ask the intercession of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, we know how God moves in our life. There is miracle. There is what we call movements. There are changes. That is why at times that we cannot pray, for we find the difficulty and struggle of praying. Let us just pray. Even it's difficult to pray. Let us not forget to pray, because this is the only way that we are meaningfully connected with God. Even we are tired. Because we know that when we have God in our heart and in our mind, sincerely we ask God to intervene for us and ask God to help us and to guide us, we know that God is at work in us. Remember, Jesus Christ always reminding us that we should be like little child, trusting, praying, that of a child, that of a little child, in which we're being reminded once again by the examples of Mary, Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, reminding us of our basic attitude and disposition in prayer. And that is, when we pray, we should be humble enough. When we pray, we should be true enough. When we pray, we should be totally resigning and entrusting everything to God. When we pray, we acknowledge that we are nothing before God. Because at times, we ask the question, it looks like and seemingly God does not listen to my prayer. And also an invitation to look at our intentions, to our heart, that when we pray, we should not only pray by thinking, but when we pray, we should be praying by feeling. At times, as we are growing, and now we can actually understand the world, we can reason out, justify things, we find ourselves not actually praying by the heart, but we're only praying by the mind. Try again and look at the way you pray. You pray with the heart, not with the mind. Because when you pray with the heart, you pray in humility, you pray in sincerity, you pray in total trust to God. And this is actually the example of Mary, when he said, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, be it done to me according to your word." My dear brothers and sisters, let us thank God for giving us Mama Mary, someone who we can turn to, and someone we can ask for to intercede for us, and that we know, by our humility and sincerity, to ask His invocation and help and intercession, our prayers are listened and answered. That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, let us not undermine the prayer of the Holy Rosary and the power of the Holy Rosary. It is powerful. Amen.